Okay, look, I know at the end of my last video I said I was going to do the Stikbot Murray Mystery Series ranks, but I'm going to do that later. So instead, I'm going to be talking about a different YouTuber, more specifically CB Animates. Now, why am I talking about them? Well, I have a theory. Animation theory? Okay, well here's the thing. I believe that all CB Anime videos are in a chronological timeline. So, in other words, the CB Animates Cinematic Universe. Now, what videos count for this list? Now, first of all, not every single video from CB Animates counts for this list, because some of them exist, but they kind of mess up the timeline. So, the only videos that I mentioned on this list actually make sense in the timeline. So, without further ado, let's go.
Sitting here lonely like a broken man, spending my time and do the best I can.
Okay, well, the first video on our timeline is Officer Breakfast. Now, why is this important? Well, they introduced one of the most important characters to the timeline, Officer Breakfast themselves. Not much else to say about this video, but it does introduce a very important character.
Sitting here lonely like a broken man, spending my time and do the best I can.
Now, the next video on this timeline is Don't Mess with the Monkeys. Now, this is also a video that introduced a very important character to the timeline, Green Stikbot, which I'm just going to call him Green Stikbot for the now.
Sitting here lonely like a broken man, spending my time and do the best I can.
Okay, now this is the section of the timeline that starts to get interesting. In this video, we have Green Stikbot, which is a former character. We also have the blue Clickbot from Officer Breakfast, which I didn't really mention because they're not that important. We also got purple Stikbot and red Stikbot. In this video, basically they make fun of Red's hat and call it trash, which, I mean, it was. So yeah, this video is just important because it has introduced new characters, and in my next part, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more.
Sitting here lonely like a broken man, spending my time and do the best I can.
After the 4 entries, it starts to get interesting. So, Officer Breakfast is getting jealous, because Officer Breakfast is the only non-Stikbot character in the universe. So, Officer Breakfast is secretly devising a plan to take over the world and get rid of Stikbots. And in the video Random, Officer Breakfast kills off Green Stikbot. And after that, Officer Breakfast needs more.
Sitting here lonely like a broken man, spending my time and do the best I can.
And on the next video, we have Karma. Now, this is what happens. Red and Purple are arguing, but then Red is so mad about how they were treated. Red kills off Purple. Now I know in the video Purple's still alive, but just for the sake of this, Purple is dead. And then Red realized something. Wait, I just killed Purple. No one cares about me, but everybody cares about Purple. So, what Red does is Red paints themselves purple. But the only problem is that at the top of their head, they run out of paint. So they just put a hat on. And that's why Purple from now on the timeline looks different.
Sitting here lonely like a broken man, spending my time and do the best I can.
Next on our timeline is the fight against Serbius. Okay, what happens in this one is fake Purple, which I'm going to be calling them, basically just goes on a camping trip with their friends. But at the end of the episode, they're all alive. But what happens was, everyone is dead, except for fake Purple. The reason why they're alive is because they're all alive in Purple's mind. Even though Purple didn't really care about them. Because, you know, it's fake Purple, they're still upset.
Sitting here lonely like a broken man, spending my time and do the best I can.
The end is near. Now, in this video, it's basically just a movie about quite a lot of things. It's quite all over the place. But the most important thing is the ending. Now, there is going to be a sequel because it says going to be continued. But this is what happens at the end. There's basically all the Stikbots are there. But here's the thing. Here's what actually happens. My alternate ending is that Officer Breakfast, Officer Breakfast, comes back because in this episode, there's more plastic figurines than normal. Officer Breakfast made those. And at the end, Officer Breakfast wipes out the Stikbot population, except doesn't kill fake purple, which took off their paint and revealed that they're red this whole time.
Sitting here lonely like a broken man, spending my time and do the best I can.
All the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle videos. Now, here's what I noticed about them. In all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle videos, most of them are just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles characters, but there is Red Stikbot. And this is what happened. What Officer Breakfast did is that the engineer killed every single Stikbot and Clickbot except for Red Stikbot. But then, in the final appearance of a Stikbot, Stikbot meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2. What actually happens, Red gets killed. And then after that, it's all just action figures, and Stikbots and Clickbots are all dead. So, what did you think of my cinematic universe video? I think it's pretty good. For my next video, I'm going to be doing another top 10 video, so stay tuned.